It is the sound that makes fugitives all over Northeast Ohio just a little bit nervous, thinking, am I up next on Cuyahoga's Most Wanted? Every week we work with the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department as well as Crimestoppers of Cuyahoga County to feature 3 fugitives to try and get them off the street and into a courtroom where they belong. We're going to bring in, as we do every week, Detective Red Dyer. How are you, sir?
Excellent, Dan. How about yourself?
It's good to have you back. Another 3 fugitives. Let's talk. We do it every week. Explain to our viewers, Detective, why do we have this partnership? It's been going for a number of years. Why do we keep it going?
Well, Dan, as we discuss every week, we see that this program is working. We've seen the numbers. You mention them all the time. The community is very engaged with us. They're interested in cleaning up their neighborhoods while remaining completely anonymous, as well as opening up the potential for a reward, which we'll get into a little later.
Whether directly or indirectly, after being featured here on Cuyahoga's Most Wanted, we have a 75% capture rate. I want you to think about what that does for our community. Those are individuals who are in front of a judge instead of on your street corner. Let's get to our first case. Let's not waste any more time because there may be a fugitive watching wondering if he or she is next. What do we know about Roy Bridget, our first case?
Well, Dan, what we know about Mr. Bridget is he actually has 2 warrants with the Sheriff's Department. In one case, he failed to register with us. He's actually required to register due to a guilty plea in 2004 to rape, kidnapping with sexual motivation specifications, and impersonating a police officer, in which he actually served a sentence at the Lorraine Correctional Institution. He also has a warrant for having weapons while under disability and impersonating a police officer. And as you discussed in the past, he is not allowed to be in possession of firearms. That's what that disability means. He failed to appear for court in these cases, and warrants were issued for his arrest. He should be considered armed and extremely dangerous. He has a history of impersonating law enforcement. He can actually be identified by a tattoo on his left hand that reads Real Gangsta and a tattoo on his right hand that reads Folks, which may refer to the Folk Street Gang. He's approximately 5'11" and 300 pounds and was last known to be staying in the 12,600 block of Woodside Avenue in the city of Cleveland.
Don't even have to get into the dangers of trying to impersonate an officer. Not only illegal, but obviously very dangerous to have out there. We're going to get to our next case. We don't get a lot of women here on Cuyahoga's Most Wanted, but we do today. And Red, just like children, we know that our viewers are very passionate about animals and the protection of animals. So let's get to the case of Ashley Roberts. What do we know?
Well, Dan, as you said, I know how our community feels about protecting our animals, so I figured this was very important to feature and discuss. This case actually stems from the Euclid Police Department in April of 2024. In November of 2025, Ashley Roberts actually pled guilty to multiple counts of cruelty against companion animals. And according to reports in that case, this incident involved 14 dogs. Court documents also indicate that the dogs suffered various acts of cruelty, and some of these dogs were even deprived of food and water. Per recommendation of the probation department, a warrant was issued for her arrest. She's approximately 5'6" and 170 pounds, was last known to be staying in the 2300 block of Edinboro Road in the city of Erie, state of Pennsylvania.
And we know that in recent years, the penalties for cruelty to animals have been increased. That's why this is a serious matter and somebody that should be featured on Cuyahoga's Most Wanted. If she's had 14 dogs previously, who knows how many pets she may have currently. We're going to take a quick break and get to our third and final fugitive. This is a refeature. This is somebody who is wanted for aggravated murder. An extremely serious crime in which he is accused of planning the murder of a woman that happened right in front of her own children. So that is somebody we want off our streets, and we will be right back. And we are back to Cuyahoga's Most Wanted, our third and final fugitive. As I mentioned before the break, this is somebody who is wanted on an aggravated murder charge, and that's just the beginning of the problems. Red, this is somebody that we have tried to get off our streets before, has managed thus far to elude being captured. Very serious crime here, and it's one thing to be involved in part of an alleged murder, but to have this carried out in front of this woman's children, this just can't happen, and somebody needs to answer for this crime. Let's get to the case of Clarence Bennett. What do we know?
Well, Dan, Clarence Bennett is wanted, as you said, in connection with a murder that occurred in January of this year. It's alleged that he was involved in the planning and execution of the murder of the victim, who was shot multiple times while she was in a vehicle. And as you said, her young children were also in the vehicle and witnessed their mother's murder. So I cannot imagine the trauma that comes with that. Clarence is prohibited from possessing firearms due to a guilty plea in 2020 to involuntary manslaughter and felonious assault. According to reports in that case, in August of 2017, he was involved in an incident where he was found to be in possession of a handgun and a rifle and caused the death of the victim. Also, 4 other victims were treated at University Hospital for gunshot wounds as well. He has an extensive criminal history with the Sheriff's Department dating back to 1999. He should be considered armed and extremely dangerous. He's 6'3" and 232 pounds and was last known to be staying in the 1200 block of East 141st Street in the city of Cleveland.
I mean, those are just an incredible list of charges. Can count them up: aggravated murder, conspiracy to commit murder, felony assault, involuntary manslaughter, and having weapons under disability. I can't understand why someone would protect Clarence Bennett, why he is still out there, and why somebody hasn't called. Detective, when we talk about calling in, people don't want to get involved. They say, you know, I don't want this guy to know that it was my phone call that led to his arrest. That's why Crimestoppers of Cuyahoga County works. They get to remain anonymous. Walk us through the whole process of calling into Crimestoppers.
Well, Dan, as we discuss every week, when you call our number, we don't take down your name, we don't record the phone calls, we don't have caller ID. None of your information is exchanged with us. In fact, we provide you with an anonymous tip number that you can reference when you call us back, so your information is never exchanged.
Yeah, think of that reference number as a tracking number. We all order packages now. You call back in with that reference number in 45 days and see if it was your tip that led to an arrest. A very serious set of fugitives this week, Detective. When we start I'm going to restart that. When we start talking about cleaning up our streets and getting these fugitives off the street, it's worth up to a $5,000 reward. But it's not about the money. But what do you like to remind people?
That crime doesn't pay, but Crimestoppers does.
Crimestoppers does, in fact, pay, and think about it. You get to remain anonymous the entire time. One more time, 216-252-7463. That is the number to call in and clean up our streets. Detective, another 3 fugitives featured. Let's hope we have the same results. Let's go out and get them.
It's been a pleasure.